Hello everyone, this is the Alpha Strike We Play channel, and I'm joined by Tarron, who's going to talk to us about
wheeled vehicles, particularly the wheeled vehicle that I built to destroy your stuff.
which I still haven't seen yet.
No.
At the time of this.
Yeah, so let's swoosh it and do it. Swoosh.
Okay. We've had a few people ask about sort of building, you know,
construction and all that sort of stuff,
and that was really cool. So
yeah, so we thought we'd do wheeled and tracked on camera. If that's something you guys want to have a look at, you're stuffed because you're going to have to watch this one. But if you don't want to see the tracked one, you can chuck a comment down. Dear. So we've done wheeled differently. We're doing you're getting your BV from me, but you don't know what I've made.
Correct.
And you've picked a Viper.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a 3.4 pilot in it. So it's going to be a solid fight, I think. But I'm pretty sure my Honey Badger, TM, will be able to take you out. I'm fairly certain. I made this as an urban assault vehicle. This is the guy that, like, the peripheries or maybe the slightly less funded sections of a faction will go, we need something to protect the city. I know, let's get 2 of these and chuck them in there. And they put like solid crews in there, the veteran crews are in there, and they go, right, you guys protect this city with your lives, and they'll just run around. You've seen a Honey Badger go for it. If you haven't, look it up. They're
horrible.
Full on.
They're awesome.
They're brilliant. I love them. I'd have one of it as a pet if I could, but you know. So
well, it doesn't sound that good to me right now. We'll go up against it.
You won't have trouble with lions, mate. So designing combat vehicles. We are going to build this combat vehicle on screen. I am building the Honey Badger. You need a motive type. Is a wheeled vehicle because we're doing wheeled vehicles, and I've gone for the max, which is 80 tons. It's a big boy. If you think like those amphibious wheeled tank things that they had, they're like the personnel carriers, you know those?
Yep.
Think like one of them but bigger, which is pretty cool. With vehicles, you don't have critical spaces. You're allowed a certain number of slots for different weapons and equipment. When you choose your weight, you're also choosing how much space you have. So you start with 5 slots, and you get 1 additional slot for every 5 tons of combat vehicle weight rounded down.
Right.
So I've got a total of 21. And I stayed within that because I built it in MegaMech, and then I came through and did this. So I made sure that I was legit before I tried to do it on paper because it's hard to do sometimes.
Good job.
Good job. Okay, next section. I've written down the motive type, the tonnage, and the slots. Next section is internal structure. Internal structure, you get the total mass, 10% of your vehicle's tonnage is allocated to internal structure.
Okay, so it's just like mechs.
Just like mechs. Just exactly like mechs. If you use a turret in your vehicle, which you are allowed to do, you get the same number of internal structure points in your turret as you do in the other locations. So the other locations get, again, 10% of the vehicle's tonnage in spots. So there's 8 tons of internal structure, and each location has 8 points of internal structure in it, allocated to it, including the turret. If you put one in, you don't have to, but if you do, you do. And that's the internal structure. Then you have a multiplier. No, you don't, because you can't get any weird internal structure stuff. Yeah, combat vehicles, I'm pretty sure, can only take standard internal stuff. So it's all just bracing and chassis stuff.
Helps keep the price down too. Tarron.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Be realistic about it.
You got to make it reasonable. By the way, we started on page 96 of Tech Manual, just in case you're wondering. We're now on page 100, which is install engines and control systems.
You did not go for a turret, I see.
I haven't done yet. I didn't put it down here because putting it here, your turret weighs depending on the amount of weapons and equipment that you put in that turret.
I understand. Okay,
So if you put that up, you can put that in the internal structure phase. You can say, okay, I'm putting a turret in, but you can't actually give it a weight until you've decided what you're going to put in it. So I figured I'd leave it till the end. Yes, I do have a turret.
Yeah. Ah, okay.
Just to cut the suspense. I'm not as good at this as you are, so I'm not building suspense. I just forgot to mention it. Okay. For the engine and control systems, the engine, your engine rating and mobility formulas. There's a chart there on page 100. You have to install an engine. To compute the vehicle's engine rating, you simply multiply the vehicle tonnage by its desired cruising MP. I'm an 80-ton vehicle and I want to be a 4.6, which is decent speed for an 80-ton vehicle. It's not awesome. It's not awesome, but it's a decent speed.
It's faster than faster than the Demolisher tank.
Yeah, it's a good solid speed. So, like I say, I want this to be an urban vehicle. I want this zipping around and taking out threats and then zipping somewhere else. I couldn't get it really super fast without losing a lot of tonnage. So I thought, well, I'll stick with this. I went with a standard engine. I didn't take XL or anything like that, but it is a fusion engine. So what you do is you multiply your vehicle tonnage by your desired cruise MP, which is 84. And then you take that base engine rating and you take away your suspension factor. And you'll see in that little chart under there, they have different suspension factors for different things. And basically what they're trying to do there is it's harder for an engine to move an 80-ton wheeled vehicle than it is for an engine to move a 50-ton hovercraft.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got different factors there. All wheeled vehicles get a suspension factor of 20. So multiplying it out, I've got 80 by 4, which is 320, minus the 20 for all wheeled vehicles, which gives me an engine rating of 300. If I look that up, it is 19 tons for a standard fusion engine. That's on page 49. Engine rating 300.
I think so.
Probably. So standard there is 19, and you have to multiply that by 1.5 for combat vehicles. So all combat vehicles that take a fusion engine have to have extra shielding and all that sort of thing put in it, because that comes standard with a mech, but it doesn't in a vehicle. So you multiply the tonnage by 1.5, and then you round it up to the nearest half ton. And that gives me 28.5 tons worth of engine, which out of 80 tons is quite a bit. It's
what, like 40-odd%?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, you're really Mad Maxing this thing, aren't you? Eh?
I want it to be able to zip. It doesn't have to be like hovercraft fast, but I want it to be able to move at a good solid speed. And a 4.6 will take most mechs on. It's not like Locust worthy, and it's certainly not Viper worthy, but it will give me some good modifiers, hopefully. So we'll see how we do. You've also got item slots, so you can see that on 101 there. Combat vehicle engine space table. For a military fusion or standard fusion engine, you don't lose any slots. So no slots lost.
Great.
Okay.
That seems efficient, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Probably expensive. Like Seabill wise.
Dear. You've got lift and dive equipment, which don't apply to wheeled vehicles, and you've got jump capability, which I considered, but I thought, no. I want it to be mobile, not insane. Then you've got control systems. So this is things like sensors, basic life support, actually moving the thing, that sort of stuff. All those systems come with a single tonnage. And your weight of that is 5% of the vehicle's weight rounded to the nearest half ton. So my control is 5% of 80 tons, which is 4.
Right.
And we're starting to go off the camera there. There we go. Oops. Oh, you got to see the next bit.
I haven't seen it yet.
That's okay.
I haven't seen it.
Heat sinks is next.
How about I hold this?
You hold that. So you can get some like physical enhancements, but not in combat vehicles in the standard tech manual. Maybe you can in Tab Cops, I don't know. But you can't put things like mask or triple strength Myanmar in a combat vehicle under these rules.
Ooh, superchargers.
That would be, yeah. So there's some other stuff that you can put in.
Yeah.
So step 3 on page 104 is heat sinks. Now, combat vehicles that mount no energy weapons do not need heat sinks. And you only need heat sinks to cover the energy weapons that you are using. Right? So if you have no energy weapons, then even if you use a fusion engine, you don't have to take any extra heat sinks. You get 10 standard with a fusion engine. Right? So as long as you stay under those 10 and you take a fusion engine, you're fine. Yeah. You don't have to spend any more tonnage or any extra money or anything like that. You're fine. But if you do put energy weapons and they do go over 10 per turn, you have to add them in. So my heat sink section is blank, which is good. Wow. So then we go on to armor. Yeah, I didn't take enough energy weapons to exceed 10. So we're adding armor now.
Is that it? Just those 2 lines?
That's it, yep. Just those 2 lines. So I took 8 solid tons of ferrofibrous armor. Now you're allowed to take full or half-ton lots of armor. You get 16 points per ton, and you can use alternative types, but they do take up slots in your vehicle. Ferrofibrous takes up 2 slots and gives you 1.12 times the armor points, which is how I ended up with 143 when it should be 16 per thing.
Right. Is there a difference between Innosphere and Clan?
Yeah. So Innosphere gives you 1.12 and takes up 2 slots, and Ferrofibrous for Clan gets 1.2 times and doesn't have a listing. Oh yeah, it has a 1 slot.
1 slot.
One slot. So 1.2 instead of 1.12, so 0.08 more.
Yeah, still
per ton, and only 1 slot instead of 2 slots. So solid stuff.
Nice.
So you can see there I've got 37 points on my front, 22 points on my rear, and 28 points everywhere else. So left side, right side, and the turret all get 28 points worth of armor.
That's pretty solid.
It's pretty solid. I'm quite happy with that coverage. I'm not too shocked with that coverage. Now you may as well take the whole thing away, because next is weapons and equipment, and you can go
okay. Wow. Like okay.
So you have to know how much stuff you've put in your turret in order to work out the weight for the turret itself. So it's a good idea to split your stuff up. So what I've done there is I've written down turret, front, body, and then I forgot a couple of things near the bottom there, so I had to put them in. I was trying to figure out why my Mega Mech lab was 80 tons, but this one kept coming up to 79. I can figure it out, and I had to go through and do it again. Okay, so in my turret, base game, I've got an AC-10, 2 SRM4s, and 3 medium lasers. I want that AC-10 for big punch, solid punch. I got the SRM4s for some scattergun approach, for some anti-vehicle stuff, and I've taken Inferno ammo for the SRM and standard ammo for the SRM. So I've got also the ability to overheat the opponent or wipe out infantry or other vehicles, obviously. And there's 2 tons of ammo for the SRMs. I think it gives you, I can't remember how many shots that gives you. I'll have to look that up.
SRM what?
SRM4s.
25 per ton. 25 shots.
I thought that was SRM2s.
No, they're 50.
Are they? Oh, holy crap. Okay.
Yeah.
So 25, so that will be 50 shots total. 25 of Inferno and 25 standard. And then the AC-10 has 1 ton of just standard ammo. But it's 10 points per thing. I was considering an LBX, but I think I mentioned this in our autocannon videos and ammo videos. If I have an LBX cannon, then I want to take at least 2 tons of ammo. And I didn't want to try and squeeze 2 tons of ammo in there. I wanted to be able to take just a 1 ton and have it just be a punch. It's just a hole punch. It's just going bang, 10 points, and then I'll blast you with SRMs and medium lasers. The 3 medium lasers gives me good solid damage, even if I run out of ammunition. So
on the turret, yeah.
On the turret,
really
I think that's pretty solid. That's 15 points of damage, even without the ammo. Even if the ammo goes, all the other weapons are useless. Those 3 medium lasers give me 15 points of damage per turn on potentially 3 different targets if I want to, as long as they're all in that sort of same arc.
Yeah.
I can swivel the turret round and blast you. So that is what I wanted. I wanted some solid damage in 1 cone of fire. So Honey Badger grabs on and blasts you away and then moves to somebody else.
That's pretty cool. That's a lot of you've got a lot of damage potential there at up to 6 hexes.
Yeah.
Like within 6 hexes, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So he's built to try and get in close to you and then chew a leg off, basically. And I wanted him specifically to chew a leg off, so I gave him a targeting computer.
Oh, naughties.
But first, on the front we have an AMS. Because
always good.
Yeah, you just keep destroying me with missiles, and I keep forgetting to put AMSs in, so I added that in just as standard, and I also put an ECM in there because there's some. I mean, I'm in a sphere enough to know that there's some skullduggery that can happen with electronic stuff, and the ECM helps with that sort of thing. So I thought, well, I want him to be protected. I want him to be damaging and getting in there and actually disrupting the enemy. So the ECM does that. Anybody's using C3 and all that sort of stuff, it shuts it all down, which is really cool. Targeting computer. Now the targeting computer, I looked it up, page 239. Just in case you're thinking of building one with a targeting computer, you need to know what's going on. So your targeting computer, the weight of the targeting computer is based on the weight of all direct fire, non-missile heavy weapons, not counting machine guns, flamers, or tag systems used by the unit. All the ammunition, powers, amplifiers, heat sinks, all of that stuff, they're not counted in the weight. It's just the weight of the direct fire weapons. So I've got an ACT-10 and 3 medium lasers. That's 15. Yeah. 15. You divide that by 4, and then you round it up, I'm pretty sure, to the nearest full ton. Yeah. So I ended up with 4 tons of targeting computer.
That's not too bad. Which
isn't bad. It sounds like a lot, but for you directed fire from an AC-10 and 3 medium lasers, that's not too shocking. It's less for a clan one. I think so they divide by 5, which again doesn't sound like much, but dividing it by 5 is better than dividing it by 4. So,
that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I like that.
And it takes up 1 slot. So basically everything takes up 1 slot. There's very few things that take up multiple slots. I've only got multiple slots here because I've got multiple weapon systems. So just in case you were wondering.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the body with the ECM and the targeting computer, I've got ammo for the SRM, I've got ammo for the ACT-10, and then I forgot to put in case and my AMS ammo, which is why they're at the bottom there, just kind of plugged on. So the case is interesting for vehicles. What happens with the vehicles is if you get hit and you have an ammo explosion and the ammo is protected by case, the damage is applied to the back of the vehicle and all the rest is ignored, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look it up, but it basically blows the back out of the vehicle, but leaves it reasonably intact.
Okay,
Which
but
is
it does gut the unit though.
Oh, it
doesn't
guts.
it?
Yeah, all of that stuff that's in that area is destroyed, but you've got page 210. That's an easy look up. But you've got that possibility for things to survive just a little bit. I mean, if all of my ammo destroys itself and the rear of the vehicle is destroyed, at least I still have a turret with 3 medium lasers on it, if you see what I mean. So ammunition, count the total damage for all ammunition carried and apply the damage struck directly to the vehicle's internal structure in the location struck. If the vehicle has case, apply the damage instead to its rear armor, with any excess damage ignored and the vehicle suffers a crew stun result.
Oh, so rear armor, not rear internal.
Yeah, so unlike a mech where only a single slot explodes, if you roll ammunition on the critical hit location for a vehicle, it destroys all of the vehicle's ammo in that location, or all ammunition carried. And normally it would just gut the vehicle because all of that damage is applied. And if you're storing it in the body, the central body of the vehicle is just gutted. It's gone. But for case, you apply the damage instead to its rear armor. So all of its rear armor gets blown out and the vehicle suffers a crew stun result, which we have had before, but I have to recheck. Oh yeah, can move no faster than cruising and take no other actions for the next turn. So that is far better than having it completely destroyed. Far better.
Well, you know what you're going to have to do now, Tarron?
What's that?
You're going to have to swap the front and rear armor. So your tank's going to have a big bump. You could drive backwards. The back is your front. Your turret can face any direction. It doesn't matter.
No.
You sure?
No. Yeah,
but then ammo blows out. You might still have 1 point of armor left. You can.
If you've got 2 tons of SRM4 ammo and 1 ton of Act-10 ammo all going up at once, it doesn't matter how much armor you put in there. It's gone.
Just put 1 on the back.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could just put 1 there and it wouldn't make any difference. It'd be gone.
I'm picturing this as being like a beefier Batmobile with a bigger turret on top.
Yeah.
Not like the Batman Begins version. That's the best one I've ever seen, with those big tank wheels. The big wheels?
Yeah.
Oh, that
something
is
like that.
Best.
But like make it maybe 10 times bigger or 5 times bigger.
5 times bigger.
I'd say about 5 times
80
bigger.
Tons, yeah.
Yeah. If you imagine that the Bat vehicle, the Bat drive thing, the Bat car, tank, whatever you want to call it. Imagine that, but bigger. And yeah, I was picturing like one of those big 6-wheel.
Oh yeah.
Like amphibious.
Yeah.
Thing, you know, the big ones.
Yeah.
And just with a turret on the top.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. So this is the actual sheet for it. Pillar will have the PDF, so maybe you can get a better view at it. But
that's a lot of dots.
It's a lot of dots. It's got some good solid armor. So I'm quite happy with the weapons.
I'm sorry, is that gunnery and piloting 0?
Yeah. So
and that's all it comes to. That's 0.
No. So the BV, the initial BV is 1026.
Oh, okay. And then, right.
Yeah. So the BV that I gave you was like 2,480 something, I think I said it was. And I said, well, as long as you're 2,500-ish, it doesn't really matter. So that 1,026, when you multiply it out for a 0-0 crew, is 2,483. And I was kind of hoping that he was going to think, well, he's going to have like 3 of these things driving around with standard cruising. And I've just put 1 super elite crew with a targeting computer into just like a menacing machine. I'm quite happy with him. This is one of my few builds that I'm pleased with. I'm quite happy with this one. This and the MML Shadowhawk. I quite liked that one. That was a good one. But that, I mean, when you're building them on paper like this, you'll probably photocopy the sheets at the back of these that have like the different record sheets that are at the back and fill it out. You have to black out the dots that aren't being used. When you're using these sort of programs, you can muck around with it and just have it come out really nice and neat and tidy like this. But yeah, so your Viper with a 3-4 pilot in it is facing an 80-ton vehicle with a 0-0 crew. I am hoping I win.
And I'm not going to be stupid cheesy by going faster and just staying out of your line of sight in the city, because, you know, that's very unclown-like anyway.
Well, I am going to make myself a promise. I am vowing this day that when we do the battle for this, I'm not going to be scared of taking turns in this thing. I'm going to take the turn. We're in a paved environment. If you turn in a paved environment with a wheeled vehicle, you have to make a side slip, a skidding roll. And I'm not going to care. I don't care.
No,
I'm going to be doing flank, and I'm going to be trying to catch you. And this is my vow now. Oh. I'm not going to be scared to take them, because that's what generally happens. My VTOLs, my hovercraft, anything that goes really super fast, I get worried about taking those super fast turns, because it's just, I know what my dice rolls are like, and I know I'm going to screw them up. But with a 0 crew and only a maximum of 6, I'm pretty sure I can do it. So I'm coming after you, buddy.
Oh, right.
The honey badger is coming for you.
There we go. The honey badger. I like it. I mean, just as a standard sort of design for just 1,000 BV.
Yeah,
that is really cool. I really like that.
And that's like I said, that's what I envisioned, was that big Batmobile APC type thing. That's just like they kind of build them as a cheap city defense unit, and they put like an elite crew in there. They go, you guys have been around the block, you know what's going. Protect this city. Go out there and protect the city. And they just...
Off you go, Batman.
Yeah. It's Batman and his friends
Batman
in there.
Session today, obviously.
I reckon this is cool.
So which miniature have you...
I have no idea.
picked?
I'm kind of hoping you've got a wheeled vehicle, because the only one I've got is a Tarron, and it isn't actually painted.
I've got something that you'll absolutely love that we can use to represent this.
Okay. Well, maybe
it's
Pillar...
even the same. I'm pretty sure the miniature is the same weight tonnage as well.
Maybe Pillar can take a photo of the miniature and put it up at the end of this, and then I won't find out until I either watch this video or actually play the battle.
That's cool. We'll do that.
All right.
Okay. There we go. Thanks, Tarron. That's really cool.
The honey badger built on screen for you guys, and yeah, this is TechMen, and it is actually quite fun doing this sort of stuff. But yeah,
it's like anything it's just memorizing tables. If you do it enough, you'll start.
Well,
do.
I mean, if you can get this book, I know some people have said that they can't get the book, and it sucks, but it happens. Try the Megamech or Solaris, but if you can get the book, all you need to do is start at the combat vehicle section on page 95, 24, and just go through. Step by step. It even gives you examples. It gives you all the numbers. It refers you to the page for the tables. It's not like super difficult. The maths in this isn't as bad as the maths in that campaign notes book.
Yeah,
that's insane.
There we go. All right.
Tech manual.
Thank you, Tarron.
Oh no, thank you.
And thank you for watching, and subscribe and check the notification.
Like and all that sort of stuff.
Keep up with what Tarron's doing now.
Let us know what you think of the honey badger and whether you'd face it in a Viper or not, because we're going to find
it's going to happen.
Pretty soon.
Something's going to happen. All right, peeps. See you later.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
I'd like to put in the vote.